Right, the beginning of the Edinburgh painting. As you can see, it's really big, really big, really big. So I've got to draw it up today, and I've divided it into 6-inch squares. Actually, they're 150mm squares, but who's counting? I am. So I'm going to draw up the background. The heads will be here, and as opposed to my old painting of Edinburgh, there were many flaws with this, and I'll point them out quickly. You can see. First of all is I don't like 4x3, it's like an old-fashioned television, and I prefer the golden section, which we've got now, which is the white area you're looking at on the canvas. Thirdly, the heads are tiny, and that makes it really hard to paint. I've had to let go of all this in the new painting because I'm plopping them up there and looking down at a slightly different angle, which gives me bigger heads in relation to the background. So that's what that's all about. Other than that, the painting will be essentially the same. There's no longer 6 God spots, there's only 2, because you won't see the other pillows. Also, in the new drawing, the church is less dominant, and I've been wrestling in my mind, because I'm an atheist, I really didn't like the idea of a giant fucking church right on the golden section. I kind of have to have it on the golden section, because it's a nice framing point, but I don't want it so big, it makes me look like a religious nut. So I'm gonna, on the new one, it's a bit smaller. I say bit, it is only a bit, but also I'm thinking of lopping the top off it and putting something else there, like death. I don't know, I just don't like churches is the issue, but it is a very recognisable thing in Edinburgh, it's what you see, so it kind of has to be there, but I will fanny around with it in some way that it looks less church-like or less important, or like something on the clock that makes it clear I see churches as contemptible buildings, which I do. I don't see them as monuments of love and worship. I see them as things built out of tyranny and repression, which is essentially how the church got all its power. It didn't do it through being nice, ironically. It did it by executing the opposition. Any opposition, even people who just went, oh, I'm not really sure about God, right, fucking burn him. That's my problem with churches. So that's got to change. I might turn it into a sort of Elon Musk starship. Much more 21st century. Other than that, all the same. I'm going to film as much of the process as I can, and I'm going to buy a new camera. I'm thinking of getting the camera buffs out there, the Nikon Z50, because it does in-camera time-lapse, which means that, you know, when I'm painting, I can speed it up at the end, and instead of looking at 5 hours worth of me painting, it looks like a couple of minutes. But that's down the road because it's £1,000 and I haven't got £1,000, so I'm selling my electric bike. Times are hard, I don't know if you heard about the virus. My friend Gazzo has gone back to America. That's I think because I started beating him at chess, he just got a bit grumpy and pissed off. I'm up to 1183 now on the rating. Quite proud. I'm losing weight. That's good. It's not cancer. Well, I hope not. I'm just trying to eat less. It's snowing. Boy, is it snowing. That's not good. And today is the draw up day, and I want to get the basic background skyline in so I can start working on the background, because that's the way I'm going to work down to about here. And then this bit here, where the crowd is, I'm not going to do today, and I'm not even going to attempt to draw until I've painted much of the background. Partly because I find when you dripping paint up here and flopping around, if you've worked down here, you end up dribbling crap over it. And as much as I'm mapping this one out really well, like on the last painting, I never gridded up. I just kind of got there by trial and error. And although I got the background right, it took maybe 10 times longer than it would have if I'd have just gridded it up and drawn it in the first place. Secondly, if I'd have gridded that one up, the old painting in the first place, I would have known the heads were going to be this big and realised that that was almost impossible to paint. Not impossible, but just really slow. Here I'm going to get heads. I've calculated already that the heads are going to be this big, which is roughly 5 centimetres high. That's that's going to be the smallest head, really. Well, there might be a small one if I don't like somebody, I might hide them at the back. But it is definitely going to be better and easier. And the reason we're starting again is I believe, and I think I'm right, because I do know how to paint, this will take less time to start and finish than that one would have to actually finish painting tiny. Because when I paint tiny, I get a headache because I have to put these things on, and then I'm like this with a brush with like 3 hairs on the end going, oh fuck. So in the long run, this will be quicker. Problem is I'm about £300 in on this project, I think. 70 quid for the glasses, which I no longer need. Previous canvas, new canvas. Canvas cost a fortune, but it came from Germany, but it's really quite smooth. It had 3 layers of universal primer on it, and I shoved another couple of layers, then a couple of layers of acrylic, then a layer of oil, and then another layer of oil, and so it's got, you know, that's a really good surface. I'm quite happy with that. It's got a little bit of a key, which I want, because if it's too smooth, I find it even worse. Nothing stays where you put it. But on the other hand, you don't want so many bumps that you can't get fine detail right. And I think that's a fairly good trade-off. It's not too bad. It's like smooth. Oh, it's lovely. It is lovely. It's like really wet and dry once the keys on. So, yeah. So that's it. There's not much point in me doing this drawing bit on tape because it's going to be tedious. I'm going to be just, you know, with my Stedler pencils. So I'm off now to do some drawing, and even when it's done, I don't expect you to be able to see it, because until the paint goes on, you're not going to see a pencil line on that, really. Okay, so bye. Do I actually have any real friends? No, I don't. All right then, bye-bye.